Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Santowski. I'm back with another UFC prediction video. This time, UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Murphy. This event goes down Saturday, April 5th, 2025. Prelims begin at 6. It's going down from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. So let's get into it, guys. Prelims. First fight up, Davey Grant against Daniel Santos. Daniel Santos, he's on a 2-fight winning streak. Wins over John Castaneda and Johnny Munoz Jr. That was a long time ago, man. Johnny Munoz Jr. hasn't fought Johnny Munoz Jr. hasn't been in the UFC in a while. So it'll almost have been 2 years since Daniel Santos has fought. He's 29 years old, 2-fight winning streak. Davey Grant, this guy keeps winning, man. He's a really good fighter if you really watch him. In his last fight, it was minus 110 apiece, 39 years old. And he absolutely dominated Ramon Tavares. I think he took all 3 rounds, at least 29-28. And I'm going to pick him here, man. I just think he's really developed a style over his career. It makes him really tough to beat. You pretty much got to finish the guy to get a win over him. Again, there's a huge age gap here. Davey Grant is 39 years old. But Willie Cat hasn't fought in 2 years. You know, so I'm going to side with Davey Grant here. It looks like he might be kicking off the prelims, but I'll be picking him. Victor Henry against Pedro Falcao. Pedro Falcao, he's on a 1-fight losing streak. Lost to Victor Hugo by unanimous decision, which was a year ago. Lost to Leonardo Morelos beat Leonardo Morelos on Tough Enough. So again, I don't really know a whole lot about this guy. 32 years old. He went up against Victor Henry, who's an older bantamweight. And he's on a 1-fight losing streak himself, losing to Charles Jourdain by guillotine choke, which is not a good look. 37 years old. I'm going to take Victor Henry here. Again, I don't know too much about Pedro Falcao, but I'll take Victor Henry. Vanessa Demopoulos against Talita Alencar. Again, Alencar did not look good against Stephanie Luciano. She's short for the division. 58.5-inch reach, 5'1". So she's going to want to take this to the ground. Demopoulos, she's a brawler. She likes to wrestle too. 1-fight losing streak. She's coming off a loss over Jacqueline Amarin, but we know how good Jacqueline is. So I'm going to side with Demopoulos here. Alencar needs to prove to me that she can belong in this division, belong in the UFC. Demopoulos, she's got a lot of heart, a lot of energy. She's going to try to win this fight. I'm going to side with her. Ariana Carnelossi against Luma Lookboonmee. Carnelossi, she's a brawler. She has not fought often, from what I can recall. 1-fight winning streak, 32 years old. Okay, she did fight last May. Beat Piera Rodriguez, who was headbutting her. Lost to Lupita Godinez, but she's looked pretty good in the UFC. But again, has not fought often at all. And she's going up against Luma Lookboonmee, who keeps winning. 3-fight winning streak. Obviously a great Muay Thai background. Beat Bruno Brazil, Lise Reed, Denise Gomez, and it's been a year since we've seen her. I'm going to side with Luma Lookboonmee. I think she just keeps this fight standing and lands the better strikes here. Diana Barbosa against Diana Belbita. Again, I'm just not really high on Diana Belbita here. 2-fight losing streak. She's still young, 28 years old. Lost to Molly McCann, which is never a good thing. Lost to Carolina Kovalkovich. And now we're going to take a look at Diana Barbosa, who I think is pretty tall for the division. 1-fight losing streak, 32 years old. Lost to Miranda Maverick. No shame in that. Very solid win over Ernesta Kirikaiti prior to that. So, again, I'm going to side with Diana Barbosa here. I'm just not really high on Belbita. And I think Diana Barbosa can have a bright future at 125. Reese McKee against Daniel Frunza. Daniel Frunza, don't know much about this guy. 5-fight winning streak. He's from Romania. Coming off the Contender Series, got a ground and pound win. And he's going up against Reese McKee, who this is his second stint in the UFC. Again, this fight's at 170. Reese McKee, 2-fight losing streak. Lost to Chidi Nzechukwu. Lost to Ange Lusa. Two guys you don't really want to lose to. I'm going to side with Daniel Frunza here, but again, it's not really a confident pick. I don't know much about him. Luis Gurule against Ode Osborne. Again, Ode Osborne, we've kind of seen what this guy is. He's never really transitioned into the guy that we thought he was going to be in the UFC. He's 33 years old. On a 3-fight losing streak, so he's lucky to even be getting his 4th fight here. Lost to Ronaldo Rodriguez, Jahal Filo, Asu Amabayev, who we've just seen fight and lose to Manel Cape. And again, I was on this guy when he first fought Brian Kelleher in his UFC debut, and boy, what a mistake that was. Kelleher chokes him out easily. So again, I bought into this guy's hype once upon a time too, but I haven't been high on this guy in a while. I mean, he's got great he's got great height for the division, but you know, outside of that, he just doesn't have a chin. He gets subbed. I don't know if he's still teaching in his other profession. But Gurule, 31 years old, 10-0. Coming off a split decision win on the Contender Series, but I'm sure he's probably good enough to get by Osborne here, and that's why the UFC's matching him up accordingly. So I'm going to side with Gurule. Gerald Mearshart against Brad Tavares. Tavares, 2-fight losing streak. Lost to Jung Young Park by split decision, and then lost to RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez. He's going up against Gerald Mearshart, who's coming off a loss to Rainer de Ritter in a fight that, I mean, he showed resilience in. I thought he was looking okay. Thought he possibly took the 2nd round, if I can recall. He took the 1st or 2nd round, and then, like I said, the 3rd round, I think he got hurt, and then de Ritter got him to the ground and got the sub. So he's a tough guy. I think I'm going to side with Tavares here, man. I think Tavares might be able to keep this standing and then just kind of piece him up on the feet, or just kind of pick up a decision here. But I think I'm going to side with Brad Tavares here. Or Cortavius Romeus against Chang Ho Lee. Again, I don't think nobody's high on Romeus. It's on a 1-fight losing streak. Lost to Gaston Bolanos. Beat Michael Imperato, who I believe was an older guy from Canada, I believe. Yeah. On the Contender Series. And he's going up against Chang Ho Lee. He's on a 4-fight winning streak, 30 years old. Coming off a win over Long and Zhao back in June. So again, I'm going to side with Chang Ho Lee here to pick up the win. Kennedy Nzechukwu against Martin Buday. I'm going to side with Kennedy here, man. Again, I just haven't been too high on Martin Buday since he's coming to the UFC. He's on a 1-fight winning streak. He's coming off a win over Andrei Arlovsky, who's no longer with the promotion. Kennedy Nzechukwu, I believe he's 2-0 since he's moved up to heavyweight. Both finishes. Finished Lucas Bareski, finished Chris Barnett. So, again, you got to be kind of excited for this dude. He's kind of turned his career around. I'm going to side with Kennedy here. Robert Valentin against Torres Finney. Valentin, he's coming off a loss, I believe, on Ultimate Fighter or UFC Fight Night. Lost to Ryan Loader. That might have been the tough final, and he was a favorite in that fight, I believe. Torres Finney finally got his UFC contract. Had to fight a few times in the Contender Series. I'm gonna side with Torres Finney here, man, until this guy loses or until he faces a guy with a huge height and reach advantage on him. I'm gonna side with Torres Finney. Joe Anderson Brito against Pat Sabatini. This is the co-main event, huh? Sabatini, 1-fight winning streak. Coming off a win over Jonathan Pierce, who's no longer with the promotion. And Pierce had a long winning streak at one point, but he fell in hard times as far as picking up losses. Joe Anderson Brito, I think he's coming off a controversial loss to William Gomis, that Paris event but he's won all his prior fights except his UFC debut to Bill Elgio. I'm going to side with Brito here, man. I think he might finish and hurt Sabatini. So my pick will be Brito. Main event, Josh Emmett against Lerone Murphy. Murphy's undefeated in his UFC career. 19-fight winning streak, 15-0 professional record. Coming off a win over Dan Ige back in October. He beat Edson Barbosa in a main event about 11 months ago, or 10 months ago. And Barbosa might have won one round, or he got 50-45, but again, he put on a clinic against Barbosa. And now he's headlining another UFC fight night against Josh Emmett. And Josh Emmett, he's been a staple in the UFC, I believe, for almost 10 years now. Or this is his 10th year. This guy's a gamer, man. 40 years old. He's still able to make the featherweight limits. Props to him. 1-fight win streak. You know, let's go over his record real quick. Beat Bryce Mitchell, overhand right. That was back in December of 2023. So it's been almost a year and a half since we've seen this guy. Hopefully he's all right. Again, nice one over Bryce Mitchell when he was a big underdog, which was surprising to me. Lost to Ilya Topuria before that. We know how good Ilya is. That was a main event. Lost to Yair Rodriguez in a co-main event for the interim featherweight title, I believe. Yeah, he lost to Yair. That was yep. So that was kind of shocking too. I kind of thought that would be a little closer. Beat Calvin Kattar in a main event. Beat Dan Ige. Beat Shane Burgos. So he's got some good wins, man. He's fought a who's who. He's been in the UFC since, let's look it up, since May of 2016, man. So it's been 9 years. I thought it was a little longer. But again, he's a really good fighter, man. And I think Josh Emmett might be the guy to give Lerone Murphy his first UFC loss. He's got serious power. He's just a veteran of the game. And I'm not really high on Lerone Murphy yet. I mean, again, the guy is a top 10 featherweight. But, you know, Josh Emmett's been there and done it. And he's fought the better competition. So I'm going to side with Josh Emmett. So, again, guys, my picks. Emmett, Brito, Finney, Nzechukwu, Lee. I'm taking Tavares, Gurule. I'm taking Frunza, Barbosa. I'm going to take Demopoulos. Or I'm going to take Lookboonmee. I'm going to take Demopoulos, Henry, and Grant.